it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and we are keeping on with the ink swatching. These are all samples from Goulet pens. I ended up with tons of them. I showed them in my first ink swatch video where I talked about my order and unboxed it for you guys. And today we're gonna go ahead and test out some pinkies and orangey colors. I've got the colors set aside. These ones aren't necessarily all gonna be pinks. They're gonna be pinks and oranges and corals, all that kind of color family-ish. Anything that's kind of red leaning is going to be in this. So we're just going to pick 10 and go with it. I'm very excited about this one. Oh my gosh, it's like neon. Most of the inks, like you can see through them really well. That one, not so much. That one is like completely opaque. Okay, how many do we have? I can't even count and talk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my gosh, I'm losing things everywhere, all willy-nilly. Okay, I'm trying to get a handle on everything. So that's 7, 8, 9, and we're gonna go 10. I did end up with a couple of Pilot colors, but I feel like the Pilot inks are way more expensive than the other inks. And I honestly just don't get a whole lot of those because they are on the more expensive side. So I've got 10 colors in front of me. They're all in that same realm with reddish toned colors. I don't get a whole lot of actual reds, but reddish toned colors. I'm gonna just walk down. I'm gonna do the swatches first. If you watch any of my videos, I'm a lefty. I cannot do the dip pen and the swatches. I have to like have my hand down. So I'm gonna do the swatches first, let them dry, come back, share them with you guys. And then I'll do the dip pen, writing in the names. That's why I line them up for myself so I know what 10 colors I've got. All right, let's get started. Because I love to see the watery goodness here. Got my water handy and you'll get to see the swirly goodness. Okay, this one is a Pilot ink. Pilot Iroshizoku Hana Ikata. I probably totally butchered the pronunciation. And one thing with the Goulet pens, they put these caps on super tight. So I'm glad I have a sweatshirt I can use. Ah, my ink. All right. Hana Ikata. Totally butchering the name. I understand that it's butchered. I like the swirliness when you get the ink bleeding into the water. I find that really satisfying. All right, there's one. Here's the cap I'm going to use for these. Ooh, yes. And a lot of pinks I've realized, like as I've done these, I'm like, oh, it leans really peach or coral or whatever, and then they dry down way differently. So the dry down coming back to these will be fun to see. All right, Diamine Firefly, and this one's more of an orangey leaning color. I like to do this kind of sampling. See, I can't open it. I like to do this kind of sampling in my like down and dirty swatchy book before I put them in my fancier, nicer, more organized book. Because I never know sometimes how these colors are gonna really dry down and look like. That one definitely has some orange, but again, like, is it gonna be an orange or is it gonna be a red? In my mind, we'll have to find out. That's why I like doing these. All right, Firefly by Diamine. Let's see. That is definitely fiery. I like that. Okay. I can't wait to see the shimmer on that one. Next is Diamine Hope Pink, and I think this one was a special edition, possibly in October for breast cancer awareness, because it's a beautiful pink, like breast cancer awareness month. Everything goes pink, which I love that there's so much awareness about it, and people get their mammograms, hopefully. My grandma was a survivor, so I always find it very important. Okay, Hope Pink. Oh, so pretty. That one is more on like the neon looking side, which I kind of like. Not gonna lie, I kind of prefer my bright pinks. And I like super bright pinks, dusty pinks, pastel pinks, all the pinks. So that one looks really fun. All right, this is Noodler's Southwest Sunset. These are not easy to open. Okay, and this one definitely leans orangey, it looks like. People who put the caps on these, they must be like the Hulk, because those are really tight caps. Usually I'm not a baby about like, you know, opening jars and that sort of thing, but these ones are definitely tricky because they're so tiny. All right, this one I've seen recommended by Karina and had to get it. So this is Urban, Rusty Anchor, not even gonna try to pronounce it. She has such beautiful pronunciation for French things because she's in Canada and she speaks French. I do not speak French. Yeah. Rusty Anchor, we're gonna just go with that. Super excited to get this one. It's like a dusty brownish pink, and again, sucker for all things pink. I'm excited to see how this one dries down because, again, they don't dry down the exact same color as they come out some of the time. Oh my gosh, it's pretty. Okay, it's pretty. It reminds me of Brunch Date quite a bit, actually. So this one's another orange one. This is Diamine Inferno Orange, and it does have some shimmer in it. Let's get that mixed in. And we're gonna go for it. It looks very, very shimmery. I love the shimmer inks. I know they're more finicky, but I've had pretty good luck with them, so I will continue to purchase them. I really enjoy them. I love all things sparkle. Diamine Inferno Orange. This one looked so, oh, I almost got my sleeve in. Okay, I'm rolling up my sleeve. I almost got my sleeve in. The other page, wow. That one is stunning. Cannot wait to see how these dry down. The next one is a Sailor. And again, like, I don't get a whole lot of Sailor ones. First of all, I don't like that they're just numbered. Like, I get it's way easier for them, but I do like the names. I like having them be a fun name. This one, they're just numbers. Sailor Ink Studio 431. And then I'm like, what number was that? I don't remember. And yeah, it's just not my favorite thing. And then the Sailor ones are a little bit more expensive. Certain companies have more expensive inks, and this is one of them that is more expensive, so I don't tend to get a whole lot of Sailor colors, but I have had good luck with the ones I have used. Oh, see, I just splattered everywhere. And by everywhere, I mean one splatter on my page. Sometimes it happens. I try to be good about pressing the pipetter back down, but sometimes that happens. Wow, so pretty. I've been impressed with any of the Sailor and Pilot colors I have gotten. I just kind of don't get them nearly as much. They're just more expensive. You know, I don't want to pay $5 for an ink sample if I can get another ink sample or maybe 2 ink samples for that price. All right, Noodler's Georgia Peach. Oh, got that one open. Okay. This one, ooh, it looks pretty, just in the vial. I like also that my pipetters get a little stained up. It's just a fun process all the way around. I really enjoy this, like playing with the inks, getting splotchy. All right, this is Noodler's Georgia Peach. That is really neat. It looks pink and orange, like in different parts. That'll be a fun one to dry down as well. Okay, this one's the weirdest one we've gotten. Noodler's Rachmaninoff. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but this one's really opaque, like paint. It's not more, like all the other ones are more translucent looking. This one is really strange looking. I'm not sure how this one's gonna come out. That's bizarre. Oh wow, and see, like all of them usually like sit on top of the page. That one like spread right out. That one is very strange. It's like the consistency of Pepto-Bismol looking in the thing, like different color obviously, but very Pepto-Bismol-y, like weirdness. Okay, this one already had spread out a little bit on its own. Usually the little droplet sits in a ball. Yeah, that one's a weird one. I'm not sure about that one. I've not seen any other ones. Like I have a whole little shelf of samples, all the new samples. That's the only one I've seen that looks very paint-like, so we'll see how that goes. All right, Jacques Urban, 1670 Fuchsia de Magellan. I'm sure I'm butchering that. This one is a shimmer. Look at my pipetter, it's all really creepy now because of that. It's very painty. I'm not sure about that one. The color's pretty. Okay, this one does have shimmer. I'm gonna get a little mixed up there. And such a pretty looking color from the vial. See, that balls up. That's how most of the inks perform. They don't spread out like that other one did. I'm not sure about that one. It's giving me creep vibes. Makes my water look kind of weird because of its thick. It's not thick, it's just Not translucent at all. All right, this last one for now. Oh, that's pretty. Really pretty. Alrighty, I will let these dry down and then we will come back and take a peek. Okay, I have about a half an hour until I have to go pick up the kiddos. There's a fuzz on here. I think they're mostly dry, except I noticed this one is not dry, and that one would be a Noodler Southwest Sunset. The rest of them look to be completely dry, so I'll just be really careful and hope I don't get my palm in that ink. We don't know yet how it's gonna go. This one's dried down just fine. It had more bleed through than most. It came through on the next paper, but just barely. All in all, I think they're gorgeous. I love both of these ones. That would be Diamine Firefly and Diamine Inferno Orange. They're both very different, very beautiful. This one still to be determined since it's not completely dried down. Love the Rusty Anchor one, the Herbon ink. This one happens to be gorgeous too. This is Herbon, what is it? Fuchsia de Magellan. I like the shimmer on that. All of the pinks are gorgeous. This one leans the most like corally toned. I probably will put that with the oranges, and that is the Noodler's Georgia Peach. So it makes sense that it would be orange. It does look like the inside of the peach. All of them are gorgeous. I'm such a sucker for any of the pinks. So yes, yes, all of them. I'm going to probably need to zoom out so that I can tilt this a little bit. And try to get everything on the camera here. Let's see, there's my dip pen. We are ready to get inky. And I'm gonna start on this side and then work over here and just really watch out for that one. I'm not exactly sure how that's gonna go. All right, we'll start with Diamine Inferno Orange. And again, with these, I do not agitate these to get the shimmer. I don't really care about that for the purposes of these writing samples. I just want some ink on there. Okay, so this is Diamine Inferno Orange. This one feels still a little bit wet, so I'm gonna try to be careful here. Oh my gosh, so pretty. As far as an orange goes, that's right up my alley, what I would want. I'm losing ink. Let's dip that one again. I want to get a little bit of ink stuff going, and I already have ink all over my hands, so it doesn't bother me quite so much. Just don't want to ruin that swatch. I think I will do the droplets on the orange page. I did end up finishing up the green ones from my last ink swatch. I've got them right here. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to orange, and I will put these two and then also these two on the orange page. And right now I just have one that's kind of a coral color, Diamine Pink Champagne. So I'll just have this off camera working. I feel like I've got a little system going, like getting these ink samples swatched and then getting my little actual ink, my official ink swatch book swatched on the right pages, organizing everything. And then next is going to be Sailor Ink Studio 431. And as far as like bright, awesome pinks, I feel like all three of these fall in that category where they're just like the bright, in your face, gorgeous pinks that I absolutely love. Gorgeous. Just writing with that one. It's a love. Definitely. Next is Noodler's Georgia Peach, and this one dried down really beautifully. It looks very matte finish. Doesn't have much as far as sheening. It's not completely dry, but you can see just like the tiniest line where the darker is. It mostly dried pretty uniform, which is fun. A lot of times they dry, you know, more like this where you get the sheening lines. This one did not have nearly as much, although it's not 100% dry, I can tell. Just by touch, it definitely feels like it's still a little bit wet. I had one Noodler's color in my previous swatching fan out a ton, especially like where it's super juicy, and I'm already seeing a lot of fanning. Also around these edges, you can see it like soaking into the paper surrounding. So that one I'm not a huge fan of just right off the bat as far as being able to write with it. It's a little bit iffy on this Tomoe River paper. It is a really pretty color. So I might end up enduring some of that. And maybe like in an actual fountain pen and not in a dip pen that's really oversaturated. Hopefully it wouldn't do that quite as much. All right, this one, the weird one, but it dried really beautifully. So yeah, I'm not sure. Noodler's Rachmaninoff, and I'm gonna have to read this as I'm writing it. And look at that, it really sits there. Again, another Noodler's. Definitely gives me painty vibes, like from an acrylic paint pen. This totally gives me that same feeling when I'm writing with it. Last one on this page, that one's not fanning out so far at least. And this is the J. Urban 1670 Fuchsia de Magellan. Again, I'm gonna have to write, like fuchsia is one of those hard words for me to write. Gonna have to double check. And this is a shimmer, but I'm not picking up any shimmer when I'm dipping my pen here. This one feels a little bit drier and scratchier than some of the other inks I've been playing with. I haven't noticed that on other Urban inks that I've used. I feel like they haven't been that scratchy. That one felt pretty scratchy. All right, over here now is where I need to be careful because of that. I'm definitely rolling up my sleeve in case I get my hand in there. All right, and this one has a really long name, Pilot Iroshizoku Hana Ikara. Totally messing up that one. Like you guys know, if you watch any of my ink videos, I'm gonna just mispronounce pretty much everything, and that's just how it is. That color is absolutely gorgeous. It's a really beautiful, like medium toned pink. It's just nice and rosy and happy. I really like that one. Okay, next is Diamine Firefly, which is a really pretty color. It definitely leans that orangey red color, and I would put that in with the oranges because it does have, it's definitely like golden shimmer on there. I would definitely put that with orange. It is very orangey red. Still has enough orange for me to not be a true red. Gorgeous. That one's really beautiful. And this is Diamine Hope Pink. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. I love every color on this page. Or I guess 2 pages. I love all the colors, all 10 of these. This one's gonna be the hardest for me to avoid that. I'm trying to take it really slow. And make sure my hand's not in the way, which might make my writing look probably the worst you're gonna see. Because I do not know how to write without my wrist, my palm, or side of my palm, sitting down there. And then here's the one that did not dry down yet. Noodler's Southwest Sunset. And again, like I'm having the most trouble with the Noodler's ink. Now this one's completely bled and feathered out so much that it's even hard to read some of that, even though, you know, I messed up the way I wrote Noodler's, but other than that, it still should be pretty legible. And it's not quite where I would like it to be. So that one's kind of a fail. This one's not dry, and it's been quite a while. I went and had lunch, I edited a video, so it's been a significant amount of time, and this is the only one that's still sopping wet. It takes forever to dry. It's hard to even write with something like that, especially as a lefty, because I do put my palm down when I'm writing. Last one, Urban Rusty Anchor, but in French. I'm gonna have to spell this one by looking at it. Beautiful color. I love how it dried down. It's definitely in the dusty pink category for me. Gorgeous. And that is it. I still don't have that one dried down. I've got to go pick up my tiny one from preschool, and that's what we're gonna leave it with. So I'm super happy about these ones. I think they're beautiful. This one's still really wet. You can see that. The writing dried down. I'm gonna rub over it. So those smeared, but the actual writing itself is dry after a couple minutes. So that's good. This is still to be determined, but other than that, I think everything looks good. So I think we're gonna wrap this one up. If I think about it, I will come back and insert a clip when this one's completely dried down, but otherwise I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow me along, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye. Alrighty, it was around 11:30 when I did the initial inks, and this one's still wet and it is almost 2 o'clock. I'm shocked that it's still wet. It's still got one pooling spot, but all these little ridges are also wet. So I'm going to dab with a little tissue here and get off as much of that as I can, because look at that, like basically the whole surface was wet. I need to work on my next swatches. I've got lots of swatches I want to get done, so I'm going to call this one good. It's still a little bit wet. Maybe I need to dab it again. I don't want to smear it, but it's definitely still significantly wet, so I'm not sure about that one. You guys saw after a minute it was still smudgy on the thicker parts, but the writing itself wasn't, so I don't have any doubt that I could write with this one pretty consistently, but swatching it is a big giant mess, so gotta be careful with that one. Otherwise, it's not fanning out like some of the other noodlers have fanned out. This one and then a different one have fanned out pretty significantly. You go. They call it feathering, where it spreads so much. But this one did not do that at all, and it's gorgeous. I really like the way that it shades the lightest touches and the darker touches. It definitely has that sunset vibes, which is really beautiful. I like both of the oranges. I like all the pinks. This is a good set right here. So there's 10 more color samples ready to go, and that's going to be it for this